The following program is precisely the type of content that our big tech overlords do not want you to see. People who have conservative leanings, are genuinely happy, are capable of both thought and expression, and promote judging people based on what they say and do rather than who they are. Oh, the horror! YouTube, frequently referred to as Susan, does all she can to rig algorithms to ensure you never see that kind of thing, especially if they're having fun. So buckle up and punch that like button to tell Susan, you're not the boss of me. We are just moments away from starting the following program. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program where my lights literally just went out right as the show was starting because I wasn't happy with the weight. I wasn't happy with my air conditioning. Oh, there we're there. There's that angelic glow. So, all right. This is the show program for tonight. First, I'm going to tell you a little about my day because I had an unusual day. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my day. It actually has an impact on this show in a positive way, in ways that you never would have realized, but still happens to be true. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. Then I'm going to share with you a brief clip showing you how fake 60 Minutes is. These are the two parts of the show which are not referenced anywhere in the whole formatting thing that you see in the description, all that other stuff. Then we're going to go through the Acolyte, aka the Wo-colyte, and see Matt Walsh's take on that. His breakdown as to just how ridiculous Disney has become. Finally, we're going to look at what the heck is happening with that Hunter Biden trial. I know. I said I am not really interested in the Hunter Biden trial. And it's true. It's really true. I'm not really that interested in it. But I've seen some headlines, started reading some stuff about some spicy stuff happening in the Hunter Biden trial. And I was like, yeah, this is taking a fun turn. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really not that. I'm almost torn about whether or not I want to see him convicted. I mean, obviously he's guilty. Kind of don't like the idea that they're catching him on like a gun charge, almost like they're making a statement about, worrying about, guns being out there in America or some sort of other woke statement that they're trying to make. So, and I do think it's ironic that it's with respect to a gun charge that we almost certainly are going to see jury nullification, because there's no way a DC jury is ever going to convict him, even though it's going to be plain as day that the dude is so guilty. But all the little tidbits that are dropping from the sky, that are dropping out from what's happening inside that courtroom, are kind of fun. It's kind of fun. So we get to see the humiliation of Hunter Biden spiraling out of control. It's amusing. Let's face it. It's a great way to kill an evening. So I hope you're going to stick around. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. I'm still at 98.2. Been stuck there for like a little while there now, for a few days now. Still at 98.2. Should be able to get to 98.3. Really, really trying to get to that 100,000. Gosh. It's like how many times would I have to leave this guy running up here? If I left this running the whole time, can you just imagine how exhausted that little cartoon man would be running up those stairs? Just it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just not right. It's just constantly just he's running up there. Look at him go. That little guy hitting the subscribe button. Yeah. Can't leave it up there the whole time. Just hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'd be most obliged. Most obliged, sir. Or ma'am, I guess, as the case may be. All right. So I told you I was going to give you a little bit of background about my day. I mentioned last night that I had mediation today. And I did. This is like one of the last handful of cases that I'm still covering. trying to just clear off my docket like an angry judge and get rid of all the handful of cases I still have. And this one was actually set to go to trial the end of this month with a judge who seemed dead set, determined that there was not going to be any further adjournments. This case goes back, 2018. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. 6 years. 6 years. 6 agonizing years. And the upshot is, spent all day haggling, more haggling, some more haggling. There was some yelling, there was some tears. They got me a hanky. Everything ended up working out for the best though in the end, because it seems like we reached a settlement. That's right. Woohoo! Huzzah! 6 years over. Settlement. We haven't notified the judge yet. I'm sure that she's going to be very, very pleased to see that this case is settled, and she'll get a couple of days off in the end of June. It was actually supposed to be on my birthday is when I was supposed to be having this trial. So yeah, I guess happy birthday to me. It also meant that I was gonna have to like miss certain things that I plan on streaming that week, because I was like, really? That's the week? So yeah, I spent literally all day hashing that out. And fortunately, we reached a resolution which seems satisfactory to all parties involved. And yeah, so there you go. That case seems like it's in the books. Seems like it's done. Few T's to be crossed, few I's to be dotted, but that shouldn't be much work. But principally, we have a deal, and I'm very pleased about that. My client's very pleased about that. Very pleased to be done with this story, which has been aggravating him for 6 years. Anyhow, so that took me all day, literally all day. Then I came home and I had to go flying out, because we have here, we send Ortho Jews, we send our kids to yeshiva, which is like a private school. Private schools in our community have what are called dinners. This is not it's a dinner. They give you food, really good food. It's really not about the food. It's really about like your fun. It's like an annual thing where they honor a few people and give you food, and there's a lot of speeches, and they charge you a lot of money to come, and they really push you to come. And I sort of felt like I needed to show support for my son. So Lady Lawgic and I basically got dressed to the nines and went out there, and I knew that it's like an hour away. I wasn't gonna be back here till whenever. And we're driving back, and I'm so tired. Oh my gosh. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to stream. I haven't even thought about what I'm going to stream. I was been running around with the mediation and everything. I was like, I really wasn't going to stream, because I feel like when I come out here, I got to be high energy. If I'm not going to be high energy, the show's going to suck. I'm not going to be happy with the work product. I'm actually my own harshest critic in that regard. If I see that I do a show that I'm not pleased with, it like annoys me. It really, really annoys me. I'm like, no, that was bad, Joe, bad. I feel it. It bugs me. And it probably is something that few of you even notice, things that I call a bad show versus a good show. Doesn't really reflect in the numbers. The numbers have nothing to do with it. Nothing. It's really just a matter of like, I feel like, okay, if I look back at this episode in a vacuum 5 years from now, will I look at that and say, that's a good show? That's really how I look at it. I don't look at the money I make from it. I just look totally at, is this a show that 5 years from now, if I just plucked this out, sat down for 2 hours, would I feel like I was entertained, informed, or like, oh, that was a good joke? Would I feel that way, or would I feel like, why the hell are people watching me? And once in a while, I'll look at it and I'll be like, I don't know why. I don't get it. That was terrible. Oh my God. It was like, ew. What is happening there? Terrible stuff. Terrible show. Once in a while. Fortunately, those are few and far between. Those don't come along very often. Most recent terrible show I had was last night. I didn't like last night's. I hated last night. I was like, I don't know, it's off. I feel off. I feel like I'm just off. I'm not on. And when I'm not on, my tongue is not as glib. Things feel slower. The joke doesn't really feel like it's landing right. I feel like things are forced and it just like it's almost like a very mechanical kind of dancer. Like it's like it just looks wrong. It just looks wrong. I don't know how to explain it. It just looks wrong. It bugs me. It really bugs me. Makes me feel like garbage. So, and so the only way I'm going to have a good show is if I come in with proper energy levels. You might not even realize this, but after the show, it takes me like at least 2 hours to wind down. 2 hours I cannot just go to sleep. I need to actually come down from like the show because I have to like amp myself. So it's like, how the heck am I going to do a show tonight? I'm wiped out. I don't even know what the hell I'm going to talk about. Lady Lawgic is like, why not the Biden trial? It's like, I don't like talking about the Biden trial. But then I looked at it, I was like, oh, wow, that's kind of spicy. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. That looks like fun. His ex-girlfriend ratting on him, going narc on him, like literally narc, literally going narc. I'm like, all right, this looks like it could be fun. There's some stuff happening there, which no one actually anticipated would be happening, or at least those of us who weren't really that familiar with the discovery process that led up to this certainly we're not anticipating. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. So we're going to look a little bit at Zoe Kasten today, his ex-girlfriend, and some of the things she had to say and who she is as a person. And that's going to be part of that. But before we do that, let's get on into the last topic I want to cover for you all tonight before I get to the main topics. And this is just a 4-minute clip. And it really, what I found fascinating, I love the way this work is done. I want to share this with you now because you're going to need to appreciate just really fine synchronization of like almost like the before and after between. This is exposing the fake news, your fake news. They're fake news. It's terrible. It's awful. They're truly horrible. Horrible. Worse than Joe's Trump. Terrible. Lousy. No, that's not. We're gonna go there in a second. Let me just cover a few of these things first. My favorite law tuber and top 3 favorite. Wow. Cool. Thank you, Culpercast. That's pretty cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a very huge compliment. Joe, if you want more energy, pray to God in front of us. That will give you a bit of energy. How do you come up with that? Why would that's energy? Really? That's not the type of energy I'm talking about. Oh, we just love you. You're very kind. You're very kind to me. Thank you. Thank you, leader. The leader notices. Maybe not everyone notices, but the leader certainly notices. She notices. Sent a DM, comedian on Trump. Who's it? Farage? Who is it? Farage? Is that who it is? Farage? Did I not? Wait a second. Am I not live on Rumble? That's not. What the hell am I looking at here? I am live on Rumble. It's not about an hour that I'm going to see a dumb man in. What the hell is that? Why am I not live on Rumble? Is it? Son of a gun. Actually, I saw Nathan hit me up there. Why am I not? Why did that not? Let me see what's happening on Rumble. It is there. It's there. It's there. I don't know what happened. What does that even mean? What does that even? That's rude. That's rude. Hi, Rumble people. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there. I'm not sure how that happened. I mean, I know what happened. I just don't know how it happened. All right, so don't worry. The first, everyone knows the first 6 minutes stinks anyway. So you didn't miss anything, Rumble folk. I'm saving like the best parts for you. I'm saying you don't even need to know what happened during the first 14 minutes or so. Can we get? I'm going to get into my show. Let me get into my show. Everyone's complaining. Everybody's a critic. Everybody's a critic. This is 60 minutes, and it's side by side as to what Trump's actual interview with Leslie Stahl was versus what they shared the public, because 60 fake minutes gave you cut out some of the most important parts of what Trump said in order to sculpt their narratives. So they're like, oh, we're just going to cut out this party where he's saying all these things that we don't really like so much. We're going to shave that part out and just leave in the parts that we like. So, yeah, basically, so what if he's the leader of the F world? F him. That's essentially what 60 Minutes says. So you're going to see here on the left is what 60 Minutes showed, and on the right is the actual interview. They do such a phenomenal job of matching these two up that you're going to, well, you'll see.
Do you think that your tweets and your name calling are turning people off?
No, I think I wouldn't be here if I didn't have social media, because the media is...
Oh, look at this. This part that he's saying now didn't make it. We're not going to leave this part in. This is the part we really want.
Corrupt. In my opinion, the media is corrupt. But, but the media is fake. And frankly, if I didn't have social media, I'd have no way of getting out my voice.
Do you know what you told me a long time ago when I asked why you keep saying fake media?
Yeah.
You said to me, I say that because I need to discredit you so that when you say negative things about me, no one will believe you.
I don't have to discredit you.
But that's what you told me.
You've discredited yourself.
You told me that.
Leslie, you've discredited yourself. When you say that you're not going to cover Biden.
This is him explaining how she discredits herself. We're not going to, it's just going to be his empty claims without any proof to what he's saying. He's just like, some crazy megalomaniac saying you discredit yourself without actually having any examples of how she discredits herself, because the examples he gives, they cut out.
You're going to ask him what flavor ice cream he has, okay?
Instead
of why did Hunter get $3.5 million from Moscow? Instead of why is an energy company paying your son $183,000 a month or whatever they're paying him, and he has no experience in energy. You discredit yourself. I don't have to discredit you.
So this story about Hunter and his laptop, some repair shop found it. The source is Steve Bannon and Rudy Giuliani.
I don't know anything about that. I just know it's a laptop, and they haven't. And
you're making this one of the hottest.
Debunked. It's debunked. Why is everyone pretending this laptop is real? It's debunked.
Important issues in your rallies.
I don't know about the two gentlemen you mentioned.
This is the most important issue in the country.
It's a very important issue.
No, the most important issue is how you guys are fake news. That actually was the most important issue in the world in 2016 when he came up. What terrible fake news you were, because it actually enabled America to start waking up to the fact as to how little transparency we had. Because as long as we thought that the news was actually mildly legitimate, maybe slanted, but somewhat legitimate, Americans were completely unaware as to how poor our transparency is and how much rot and corruption there was in our governmental hierarchy, and how that's being not simply enabled, but emboldened and fortified. Emboldened and fortified by legacy media.
To find out whether or not a man's corrupt who's running for president, who's accepted money from China and from Ukraine and from Russia.
All these
Yeah, I think
things
that's
have
an
been
important issue.
investigated and this.
It's incredible the way you can try and say this and sit there and look me in the eye and say it.
A
He
Republican
accepted money,
committee,
his family, from Russia, from Ukraine, from China, and from other places.
and a
His
Republican.
brother, who didn't have experience, became a big builder in Iraq without experience. Take a look at what's going on, Leslie. And then you say how that shouldn't be discussed.
I'm saying,
It's the biggest scandal out there, Leslie.
and you think it's the biggest issue to campaign on.
I think
It's a huge issue that the guy who's running for president is influence peddling. That's not a huge issue.
I think it's one of the biggest scandals I've ever seen, and you don't cover it.
Biggest-
You want to talk about,
Well, because it can't be verified.
you want to talk
I'm
about
telling you,
Can't be verified. There's no way to know. There's just no way to know.
insignificant things.
I'm telling you.
Of course it can be verified. Excuse me,
We
they found
cannot
the
verify.
laptop, Leslie,
It can't be
Leslie.
verified.
Can't be
What can
verified.
be verified?
The
Yeah.
laptop.
How do we even know that the laptop is real? How do we know? How do we know?
Why do you say that?
Because
Even the
it's
family
verified.
hasn't, the family on the laptop, he's gone into hiding. For 5 days, he's gone into hiding.
He's preparing for your debate.
Oh, it's taken him 5 days to prepare? I doubt it. I doubt it. Okay,
All
go
right,
ahead.
all right. So let's get back to the name calling, okay? And whether you think it's turning people off.
No, I
Because
think, look, it is
you
what
call
it is.
Biden stupid
Where are we sitting then? Where are we sitting?
in the Roosevelt
Of what?
of the White House.
That's right. How did I get here? How did I get here? We're in the White
But what are you
House.
saying? Oh, but by name calling, you think that
No,
that's
not the
the
name
feeling?
calling, by, doing the right thing. And we have a great record. I mean, we got hit by a pandemic, wasn't my fault. But it was China's fault. But Leslie, we're in the White House. The press is very biased, very, very biased. And I'm not talking
You're
about
trying to
anyone. I'm talking
discredit
about,
us.
no,
Yes.
no, I'm not. You're discrediting yourself, Leslie.
No, you are.
Leslie, you're discrediting yourself. When you don't go after Biden, with the corruption in the Biden family,
You've asked me five.
when you don't go after what happened in the Russia witch hunt, which turned out to be a total phony with no collusion whatsoever. When you don't do that, you discredit yourself. The press, is highly discredited right now. You do know that. So you discredit yourself.
Dang. All that. No, we don't. The public doesn't want to know anything about that because it's 60 fake minutes. That's what it is. We're going to get into the Biden laptop after I talk about the Wo-colyte. I'm going to cover the Wo-colyte. I just wanted to share that with you. Yo, Joe, 2 to 3 shorts a week coming. This is last night on the following program. This guy creates shorts for my work, and they're awesome. I highly recommend you guys check out last night on the following program. If you don't have 2 hours to spend with me, you can sort of get almost like a little condensed version. It's like mini me. It's like mini me. I always wanted to have my own little mini me. I think that would be appropriate for me to have mini me. And last night on the following program is the next best thing to that. So check him out. 2 to 3 shorts. Of course, you can load me. You can load me on Spotify. Load me anywhere. I fit anywhere. I'm very flexible. I'm very bendy. All right. Where am I at? Oh, I know where I'm at. I'm going into the Acolyte. If you're unfamiliar with the Acolyte, you're in a better place than where you're about to be in a minute and 45 seconds because you're about to be a little bit more familiar. You're about to become familiar with it, and you can curse me out later for that. This is the trailer for the Acolyte.
Close your eyes.
Try to see how many white males you see in this thing. Just look for the white males. Look for the patriarchy. Nope.
Your
Nope.
eyes
Nope.
can deceive you.
Nope.
We must not trust them.
0. Oh, there's a random dude. He's might.
Tell me what comes into your mind.
Asian man, black kid, Asian kid in the background, little furry creature in the background. don't say it. I don't want to hear any of you. I don't want to hear any of you say, Spanish or something.
Life.
Oh, there's a little Asian girl.
Balance. I see fire.
Like literally. Like I guess in the distant future, they're envisioning that, they've done away with white folk. At least the white males.
I see fire.
Nope. Still no. White chick versus black chick or Asian chick? I can't tell from this thing here.
Someone is killing Jedi. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Wow. All right, a minute in.
What happened? I said stop.
Oh, the white guy is a convict. The convict. I guess they managed to put them all where they belong.
Darkness.
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
Oh yeah, this is about power and who's allowed to use it. That's definitely what this is about. This is about power and who's allowed to use it. Methinks you telling on yourselves.
This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
What is that?
Unbelievable. So there you go. That is the trailer for The Acolyte. Coming soon to a TV set near you or to a Disney streaming site near you. I'm not sure. Somewhere. It's coming soon. Definitely coming soon. Unbelievable. I feel so guilty about I want you to know something. I feel so guilty about I feel so guilty about what I did to the Rumble folk that I'm actually going to try and leave them up here somewhere. Not sure if I'll be able to. I'm going to try to leave them up here. Popping out the chat. Check out what narrative? Reddit.com, breaking the narrative. Parmesan's a fellow at the advanced. Oh, all right. Anyhow. So that's the trailer. Let's hear Matt Walsh's take on it. Because he's got a lot more to share.
It's no secret that Disney isn't doing well lately. They just laid off nearly 15% of the workforce at Pixar, their movie studio that used to produce guaranteed hits. But Pixar's recent films, Elemental and Lightyear, were bombs, and the division hasn't turned a profit in more than 2 years. People just didn't go for the strained interracial immigrant metaphor in Elemental, or the same-sex kiss in Lightyear, or the kind of rehashed, stale vibe of both projects. Additionally, Disney's much-touted, fully immersive Star Wars hotel called the Galactic Star Cruiser shut down late last year after operating for less than 2 years. Disney had spent hundreds of millions of dollars on the project, apparently on the theory that people cared so much about the Star Wars brand that they'd be willing to spend thousands of dollars for the privilege of staying 2 nights in a windowless concrete building posing as a spaceship.
So stupid.
That didn't pan out. Apparently, people aren't excited to stay in a hotel where the experience is seemingly designed to be as aggressive.
To feel like prison. It's weird. Why is it that people don't want to, experience prison?
Aggressively unpleasant as possible. That same quarter, Disney's streaming service, Disney Plus, reported a loss of more than 1 million subscribers. That's not even getting into the Disney's decision to get involved in Florida politics on the side of activist teachers who want to talk to kindergartners about gender identity and sexual orientation. Faced with this brand collapse, Disney had two options. One option was to retool their content to focus on entertainment and family values instead
Obviously, that's where they're going to go.
of activism, which is what Disney used to do when it was a universally beloved and much more financially successful company. They could get back to their roots, in other words. And not in the sense of churning out more remakes, but in the sense of being a company that makes wholesome family films that capture a real sense of wonder and imagination. But the other option was to keep doing exactly what they've been doing and continue to shove the same agenda, the equity, representation, LGBTQ approach that they've been pushing for years. Well, 8 months ago, Disney CEO Bob Iger publicly pledged to pursue the first option. He declared that Disney would refocus its efforts on entertainment, not political messaging. That was the plan, or at least the plan that was shared with the public. But that's not what has happened. Disney...
Not at all what we've actually seen from them. It's interesting that they recognize that that's the lip service they need to give. We're just not going to give it to you, and you're going to eat it. Or apparently not.
Over the past 8 months, has apparently decided to double down on agenda-driven content to the point that they're now openly attacking their own fans. It's a remarkable turn of events, and it's one that's worth discussing because this development is not unique to Disney. And it suggests that wokeness, as we call it, may not be the best way to describe what we're seeing at Disney and other major corporations like it. And certainly that's part of what we're seeing, but there's something else going on here as well. It looks a lot like corporate mediocrity run amok, the private sector version of what we see across the public sector bureaucracy. Unimpressive people with impressive sounding credentials who check the right demographic boxes are taking the helm of businesses and products that they don't understand. They've insinuated themselves into these companies like a cancer that's evidently impossible to remove. And even when the company CEO publicly tells them one thing, they're free to do another. Now, to get a better idea of what I mean, take a look at this interview from the other day featuring...
This is the part that I saw, and I was like, what the hell is even happening? What the heck is even happening?
Leslie Headland, the creator of the new Disney Star Wars show, The Acolyte. Now, I don't want to prejudice you in any way, so I'll just play the clip with no further introduction. This is the showrunner talking about her new show. Watch.
I want to ask you both because this is, I would.
Look at these two individuals. Look at these two individuals. Unbelievable. All right, here we go. Amanda Steppenberg, May Olsha, and Leslie Headland.
It's arguably the gayest Star Wars, I think, by a considerable margin. And are you excited about that? Are you
Not the
bracing
gayest
yourself?
Star Wars. Not the.
It's pretty gay, let's be honest. Leslie, how do you feel?
Am I gay? Yes.
Well, no, I know
Yeah.
you are gay, but I'm asking, are you excited about putting this, this is going to be a talking point?
Is it going to be a talking point?
I'm sure so.
Because nerds are gay.
Well, some nerds are very not gay and are very threatened by gay
Well, that's
stuff.
true. But
Yeah.
in my world, nerds are gay.
Okay. Was this the fun element of it?
No, I don't think so. And yet people have told
Why do they seem like they have the maturity of like 9-year-olds?
me that it's the gayest Star Wars, and I frankly
You're offended?
into it. No.
I think that Star Wars is so gay already.
Okay.
I mean, have you seen the fits? We'd be like, look how gay this is, and then send each other a reference photo.
And are you
from-
telling me with a straight face that C-3PO is straight?
They're a couple. That's what I think. But this is more outward.
I think it's canon that R2-D2 is.
They literally sound like they're like I mean, not 9-year-old. They sound like they're like prepubescent. Like, you have pubes. Like this is what they sound like.
Is a lesbian.
So don't worry about the story or the plot or the characters. Who has time for that? Instead, just listen to these two women call old Star Wars characters gay and then giggle like schoolgirls. They're excited that this new Star Wars show will be the gayest Star Wars show yet, which is in every way the exact opposite of what the audience actually wants. Nobody has watched the recent Star Wars films and shows and said to themselves, this would be better if only it was.
No, you're mistaken about this. You're very mistaken about this. I think you're not alone. I think you're not alone. You're very mistaken about this. You're very mistaken. I'll tell you right now. It's just the opposite. It's just the opposite. It's envy. It is. It's literally the opposite. It's resentment coming from envy. It's from a very ugly place.
Even gayer. No one has thought that except for apparently the people behind this show. Now, the only thing you learn from that interview is that Leslie Headland is gay and has no respect whatsoever for her audience or her own show. This is how Disney is promoting the latest entry to franchise they spent $4 billion to buy a decade ago. And that has...
Don't worry, you're not in her world. You're not, because you're not her target audience. And they make that crystal clear. You're not in her world. She was very open and unwittingly, and that's because that's the only way she rolls, is being unwitting. Unwittingly admitting it's not aimed at you. You're going to watch it anyway.
A lot of fans wondering how exactly she was chosen for the role of showrunner. If her role is to push some subversive woke ideology, she's not being very subversive about it. She's just angering as many fans as she possibly can, and that's all this is. And she's not the only CEO, the only one doing this. The CEO of Lucasfilm, a woman named Kathleen Kennedy, just came out in defense of her showrunner. Kennedy declared that if you're not a fan of how Leslie Headland is handling herself, then you probably hate women. Quote, I think Leslie has struggled a little bit with it. I think a lot of the women who step into Star Wars struggle with this a bit more. Because of the fan base being so male-dominated, they sometimes get attacked in ways that can be quite personal. My belief is that storytelling does need to be representative of all people. That's an easy decision for me. Yeah, she really said that. Storytelling does need to be representative of all people, says the CEO of Lucasfilm as she mocks her own fan base. These people are so dumb they don't even understand the words coming out of their own mouths. Representative of all people? Really? Are they going to have 8 billion characters in this show? One for each person on Earth? How exactly does that work? Is storytelling supposed to be representative of all people, whatever that means? Or is it supposed to be representative of the distinct creative vision of...
I need to just pause here just to address this. RPP saying, pop this out. You don't answer on X, so why ask me to DM you? Puzzle of the year. Dude, I did answer you on X. So, in your face. That was for you, RPP. In your face, I answered you. Like 6 hours ago. So maybe check your DMs. People saying I don't answer puzzle of the year.
Of the storyteller. I was going to show some more clips of these women, but it's honestly too painful to subject you to. These are people who can't even communicate without descending into Valley Girl nonsense, and they're putting together shows that they expect millions of people to watch. Kathleen Kennedy was lucky enough to work with Steven Spielberg, and Leslie Headland worked on rom-coms with titles like Sleeping with Other People. So those are their credentials, and they're considered impressive in the industry, I guess. So they get to continue butchering Star Wars. By the way, The Acolyte was released this week. I think it was released yesterday. And as has become a new tradition for Star Wars films and shows, it has a very high critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, like 88%, but a failing grade of 45% from the audience. That is the dynamic we always see now with these things. Joel Berry, who apparently subjected himself to at least some of the show, offered this review, quote, "The Acolyte is a queer Marxist vandalization of the myth of Star Wars. In The Acolyte, the Force is a metaphor for cultural hegemonic power. The Jedi are a metaphor for cisgender white oppressors who hoard the power for themselves."
It's about who gets to use the power. You see? I actually nailed it correctly.
Yes, it really is that obnoxious and stupid. The account Wall Street Silver offered this viewer warning, quote, "The Acolyte Star Wars new series streaming is very woke. Number one, main character has 2 mothers. Number 2, main Jedi characters are..."
2 mothers. I wonder how that one was conceived.
"Are all black and Asian, no white men. And number 3, only speaking role for white men in first episode is prisoners on a prison ship."
That's so good. Oh, that's hilarious.
So Disney has decided to right the ship by ramming it directly into another iceberg. And that's not to pick on the Acolyte too much, although it obviously deserves it. Because of the fact that Disney is now pumping out Star Wars shows on an assembly line, there's another one that I can mock as well. It's called Tales of the Empire. And this one is apparently geared towards kids, and I guess it features a non-binary Jedi based on how all the characters use they/them pronouns to refer to this corpse. Watch this. I think we played this once before, but here it is again. If you can get through it, here it is. Watch.
They're still alive. We need to get them to the ship. We can save them.
Forget it. Let them die. It's not worth the trouble.
They were about to surrender.
Irrelevant. The Jedi are a threat to be eradicated wherever they are found.
Oh yeah, we did play that before because I remember now. That's the one where the bad guy, I guess it's a bad guy, kills someone, but then still respects that person's pronouns after having murdered them. So that's nice at least. This is the result of Disney's big plan to focus on entertainment and not messaging. We have non-binary Jedis and girl bosses making sure we have the gayest Star Wars ever. And that's not all. As Bloomberg recently reported, Disney is now banking on the upcoming film Inside Out 2 as the, quote, key to restoring the magic. They think that this film, a sequel to a movie from 2015, is going to be a smash hit to the point that they're going to give it a 100-day run in theaters. As Bloomberg reports, quote, if families show up for Inside Out 2 in the kinds of numbers Pixar used to see, it will reaffirm the studio's standing. But if the movie fails, it will fuel concerns about the company's relevance. And by the way, the whole article is kind of funny because it's all about how Disney, they've come up with their brilliant strategy to get. All
right. So I haven't seen the rest of this. I haven't vetted the rest of this thing. I think you all get enough of the flavor. what the Wo-colyte is all about. Maybe conceive with the Force. That is that really true? Wait, are you joking or are you serious? Are you serious? How does that work? You're serious. He says yes. He says yes. He's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So when a Force and a woman merge, you get a binary Jedi. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So... Are you saying that joke? That joke was forced in there? That's what you're trying to say? Is that what you're trying to say? Oh my God. When a Force loves a woman. Oh my God. They're so sick. They are so sick. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. All right. All right. So I promised you earlier, we were referencing how Leslie Stahl had all sorts of issues with the Hunter Biden laptop. And it's debunked. It's debunked. Why would anyone even believe this is true? And you know what her source was? Her source was the ever reliable master of memory, Mr. Methuselah, President Methuselah himself, Joe Biden. Many of you may have forgotten Joe Biden's stance regarding the Hunter Biden laptop. So here's a little reminder for what our the most honest octogenarian, Conley old man had to say when questioned about it prior to the 2020 election.
50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plant. They have said that this has all the 5 former heads of the CIA. Both parties say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage.
This is classic Trump. We have 4 days left, and all of a sudden there's a laptop. There's overwhelming evidence that from the intelligence community that the Russians are engaged.
I still think that the stories from the fall about your son Hunter were Russian disinformation at a smear campaign, like you said.
Yes. I know you'd asked it. I have no response. Another smear campaign. It's the last-ditch effort in this desperate campaign to smear me and my family. The vast majority of the intelligence people have come out and said there's no basis at all.
Well, apparently, the intelligence committee must have changed their minds. Apparently, they changed their minds. Hunter Biden is now being prosecuted, and the key evidence that the DOJ is using in their prosecution of Hunter Biden is indeed this very, very fake laptop. This very fake laptop is the key. This was reported yesterday. Hunter Biden gun trial jurors shown infamous laptop first exposed by the Post in dramatic courtroom reveal. But it's fake. We know it's fake. Leslie Stahl told us it's fake. Joe Biden told us it's all fake. And here it is, key piece of evidence. I wonder what steps they had to take in order to authenticate the validity. Authentication is a thing in court. It's now been accepted by the court as authenticated. This is a court which says it's authentic that it came from Hunter Biden. Otherwise, they wouldn't get it in. So all those things, all this stuff here.
50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plant. They have said that has all the 5 former heads of the CIA. Both
for the first time Tuesday, first time Hunter Biden notorious laptop from hell, whose scandalous contents, first reported by the Post, was shown to a jury of his peers.
The intelligence community that the Russians are engaged.
Federal prosecutors making a key part of their case, accusing the president's child of illegally owning a gun. Yeah, that's not going to work. The pivotal moment unfolded after prosecutor Derek Hines brought out a plastic-wrapped laptop, walked it across the courtroom, presented it to his first witness, FBI Special Agent Erica Jensen. Jensen took the MacBook Pro 13, verified after looking at the serial number on the back that it had, in fact, belonged to President Biden's son. This is the story that was suppressed on then Twitter, now X. Suppressed for being Russian disinformation. And here's some of the photos. Little small editing there going on. Little small photo of Biden holding a gun from his laptop. This is what he has on there. Well, prosecutors in the office of special counsel David Weiss must prove to jurors that Hunter, 54, intentionally lied on a gun application form by claiming he didn't do drugs when he purchased a Colt Cobra revolver on October 12, 2018, a time when prosecutors say he was in the middle of a serious crack cocaine dependency. The feds were quick to begin using information extracted from the laptop to lay out a timeline of when they say Hunter was using before and after he bought the firearm, which he only owned for 11 days. Federal Judge Mary Ellen Noriega ruled before trial that prosecutors do not need to prove that Biden's son was high when he bought the gun, but only that he was generally using around that time. I have to agree with this. I guess it's real. I guess it's real. Sorry, I thought I knew that guy. Jensen explained that information on the computer was cross-checked against information taken from the Biden Scion's iCloud account, which investigators had obtained through a subpoena issued to Apple. FBI agents, so we know for sure, definitely real. FBI agents were able to extract mountains of data from the MacBook, including text messages and WhatsApp messages detailing Hunter's drug use. On Tuesday, the jury was shown a 2018 message. The hunter sent his reported dealer, Clifford O'Brien, saying, "Can you get baby powder, the real soft stuff?" There he is. Moments before texting his dealer. In a message from April 28, 2018, First Son sent a photo of a digital scale with a heap of white powder on top, implying he'd been ripped off in a cocaine transaction. "You guys owe me more coke. You owe me more coke." They were also shown 2 video clips from the laptop depicting a shirtless hunter. In one clip, the First Son held a crack pipe while lounging on a bed, and in the second, a pipe could be seen behind the younger Biden. Jurors were showing the crack pipe picture. Here he is. That is a crack pipe. It's not your standard. That's not something Sherlock Holmes used. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Degenerate. Panelists were also showing an angry text message that Hunter sent to Haley Biden, his former sister-in-law turned lover. On October 23rd, 2018, the day she found the .38 inside his car and threw it away. "Did you take that from me? Are you insane?" Hunter accused in one message. "This is no game. You're being totally irresponsible and unhinged," he added. "Tell me now," he said. "Call me. It's mine." No. The younger Biden famously dropped off his laptop at a Wilmington repair shop in April 2019, never returned to pick it up because the gods needed a gift. Shop owner John Paul Mac Isaac handed the hard drive over to FBI after unearthing evidence of illegal financial activity, drug use, and patronization of prostitutes. Because that is what the president's son is all about. Before the feds picked up the laptop in December 2019, Mac Isaac made a copy of the hard drive, which he gave to attorney Robert Costello in August of the following year. Yeah, that Robert Costello. Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, then a client of Costello's, provided the Post with a copy of the hard drive in October 2020, leading to a series of exclusive stories detailing the Biden's family overseas business interests and the role the current president may have played in making money for his relatives. Hunter has pleaded not guilty to 3 felony charges in Delaware. On case faces up to 25 years imprisonment if convicted. 25 years. 25 years? That can't be right. 25 years for owning a gun? 25 years for lying on this thing? 25 years? 25 years? Really? That's crazy. I say that's crazy. I think the guy's a degenerate dirtbag, but even I say that's crazy. Anyway, so this is all what the jury was shown yesterday. Unbelievable. 25 years? That's crazy. Am I the only one who thinks that's crazy? 25 years. It's not like he killed somebody. I mean, look. I'm all for, I'm all here for the poo-poo and giggles. I'm just saying that feels wrong to me. I know nothing. You're right. Nothing will happen to him. That's true, Maddie. But I'm just saying, that's crazy. Look, there are things he deserves 25 years for. Gun possession is definitely not one of them. Wow. That's really crazy. Well, anyhow, getting back to how this is developing. So that was all yesterday. Let's look at how things are going today for him. Let's take a quick look at that. I'm very torn. I'm about to make a critical decision as to how in detail I want to go about today's testimony. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this way. New York Times today reporting. Zoe Kasten, Hunter Biden's former girlfriend, describes drug-fueled partying. The testimony, like that of Mr. Biden's other romantic partners, is intended to establish that he was a chronic drug abuser who lied when he claimed to be clean on an application for a handgun in October 2018. There's his former girlfriend. The muted mood of Hunter Biden's trial, which had focused on his struggle with addiction, shifted abruptly on Wednesday with the appearance of Zoe Kasten, former girlfriend who described him as a charming, free spender who loved the party hopping high life in New York. Yeah, the good old days. The good old days. FJB. Miss Kasten, a dancer, Mr. Biden met at a gentleman's club. Listen to how the New York Times phrases it. A dancer that Mr. Biden met at a gentleman's club in 2017. This is how New York Times readers are introduced to Miss Kasten. A dancer that he met at a gentleman's club. I'm going to pause here so you can actually get a little bit more of a bio about Zoe Kasten. Here's Hunter. What is happening? All right. Sorry about that. Let's look more into that dancer that he met at a gentleman's club. God, get rid of the ads, Daily Mail. Seriously. Hunter Biden, this is according to Daily Mail, Hunter Biden's ex-girlfriend, weed slut, Zoe Kasten's journey from online cam girl and stripper to entrepreneur and key witness in First Son's gun case. Zoe Kasten, 30, is an entrepreneur, founder of Weed Slut, and former sex worker. Kasten, who testified in 2022, is on the stand in Hunter Biden's trial. Uh-oh. This is who New York Times refers to, a dancer that Mr. Biden met at a gentleman's club in 2017. Oh, one of those upscale dancers. Oh, Daily Mail, not quite as not quite. Her social media name is weed_slut_420. And some might say it's appropriate handle for someone who was closely associated with America's best-known crack cocaine addict. Hunter Biden's ex-girlfriend, Zoe Kasten, is a 30-year-old New Yorker whose other claim to fame is a range of lingerie, erotic dancewear, and weed-smoking paraphernalia under her own similarly named brand. The entrepreneur and founder of Weed Sluts was described as a, quote, quintessential businesswoman in 2021 magazine piece in which she revealed she's a former online cam girl and sex worker, discusses her ideal lover, and poses topless in her own creations. Kasten, because, she's a dancer that he met at a gentleman's club. Kasten is giving evidence in Hunter Biden's criminal trial. Also testified for 5 hours at a federal courthouse in Delaware in 2022 during a grand jury hearing over the first son's alleged tax crimes. Hunter's ex, Allie Kennedy, says she introduced Kasten to the first son, but the two women fell out because Kennedy believed Kasten was using him, hoping he would become her sugar daddy. You don't say. There they are. There they are. Oh. Kennedy also believed that instead of helping keep Hunter sober, she enabled him on another drug binge in LA in 2018. Yeah, that year, 2018. Kasten and Hunter spent much of their time together at luxury hotels in New York, California. Records from Hunter's abandoned laptop show. These included the Four Seasons, 60 Soho, Soho Grand, the Mercer, Chateau Marmont, where Hunter wrote in his memoir they learned to cook crack cocaine. These are skills. He's learning life lessons. That's where he learned. He wrote his memoir, that's where I learned to cook crack cocaine. The Hollywood Roosevelt nomad in Jeremy West Hollywood. Hunter also spent thousands of dollars on Airbnb home rentals for the two of them in LA in 2018, according to his emails. One booking with both their names was for a month-long stay from April 5th to May 5th, 2018, costing $8,400 in a two-bed home in a trendy LA neighborhood of Silver Lake. This is how Daily Mail describes her testimony from today. Kasten took over with a colorful account of the debauched months together in 2017 and 2018 as Hunter sat with his hand over his mouth. When asked to identify in the courtroom, he smiled and waved at her. Hey, sweetie. He's on crack now. Dude's on crack right there in the courtroom. He smiled. When asked to identify him in the courtroom, he's like, I'm over here. Good to see you. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude's totally high in the courtroom. Totally high in the courtroom. Wearing a black suit with colorful silk scarf and floral print clutch handbag, Kasten told us she met Hunter by giving him private dance at a gentleman's club in Manhattan in late 2017. Entering a room for her last private dance of the night, she encountered Hunter already there with another dancer. The music was off because the club was about to close, she said. He took out his phone and started playing Fleet Foxes. She said he was incredibly charming, charismatic, and friendly, but that within 10 minutes he had gone to a balcony to light up a crack pipe. She declined his invite back to his hotel, but gave him her number. Looking him up online, she put two and two together because she's obviously one of the sharper knives in the drawer, and realized he was the former vice president's son, she told the jury. They then began a series of hotel stays together over the following months, with Hunter smoking crack constantly. At the Soho Grand Hotel a week later, she said there were bottles of alcohol, room service, and luggage strewn across the room, and within the first 10 minutes, he started smoking crack. Kasten said their longest hotel stay was at the Chateau Marmont in Los Angeles, where they stayed for over a month and where she watched Hunter learn how to cook crack in the sweet kitchen. She said it was meant to be a detox trip, but when she arrived in LA, Hunter was already partying and binging. Kasten said he also attempted to rehab using a drug from the skin of a frog to purge himself, but that also failed. In a blow to the defense case, Kasten described Hunter taking out large sums of cash and using it to buy drugs. Hunter's attorney, Abby Lowell, tried to suggest to the jury that the tens of thousands of dollars Hunter withdrew at ATMs and bank branches was for everyday expenses because he uses crack every day. Look, I don't understand. It's everyday expenses. That's why he needs tens of thousands of dollars. Why are you so confused? He used cash for lots of things, Kasten testified. I knew a lot of it was for buying drugs. She said Hunter would even send temporary access codes to drug dealers so they could withdraw cash from his account. Oh my God. It's like he's like sharing an account. I'm just put your name on the account and I'll just throw money in there. You can take it out whenever you want. Wells Fargo ATM without his bank card. She would even send temporary access codes to drug dealers so they could withdraw cash from his account at Wells Fargo ATM without his bank card. Prosecutor Leo Wise showed the jury photographs from Kasten's phone of the two of them in hotel suites in February and March 2018 with used crack pipes visible in the background. One photo showed the two of them bathing together, Hunter holding a crack pipe in his hand. Kasten said his demeanor did not change when he smoked. He was super charming. Everybody loved him, she said. I didn't notice it at all. I thought to myself, it's crazy that his demeanor doesn't seem to be changing. Another photo elicited chuckles from the audience, showed Hunter at a Chateau Marmont hotel room wearing a t-shirt that appeared to be the Adidas logo, but in fact read, "Addicted," with the cannabis leaf. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. This woman is so unsettling. So there you go. There you go. That's how the Daily Mail reports it. Should we check out and see how New York Times reports her testimony? It's going to sound very different. I'd love to see your little cartoon, you hitting the sub button and getting angry because he keeps getting unsubbed over and over on Gun. It's so spot on. It is so spot on. You should go watch our greatest show today covering this. Had one of the reporters covering it on. The Kasten family is cracked, pun intended. I'm not going to steal it, but I highly recommend his work. Doesn't matter. There's going to be at least one TDS on the jury. Oh, I'll tell you right now, they're going to acquit him. They're going to acquit him. I don't care what they show. He's going to be acquitted. So now that we heard how it really happened, let's see how fake news New York Times reports it. Ms. Kasten, a dancer Mr. Biden met at a gentleman's club in 2017, said the two immediately connected, catching feelings. It was love at first sight. Oh, it was so warm and sweet, as she put it, after she sat with him in a quiet back room and clicked on a song from Fleet Foxes, an indie rock band, to remedy the silence. Remedy the silence. There was no music playing in the club, and he wanted them to dance. So he put the song Fleet Foxes on, but they're like, no, it's too silent. We need to remedy the silence. So this way we can have some comfortable music so that we can actually intellectually bond. Her entrance produced one of the more awkward moments in a trial, already brimming with them. When Leo Wise, the lead prosecutor, asked her to identify Hunter Biden in the courtroom for the record, he offered an uncomfortable wave and a fleeting smile before looking down, head in hands, embarrassed that his wife might have seen him. Ms. Kasten's testimony was sympathetic to Mr. Biden and reaffirmed the portrait of a tortured addict, reeling from family tragedy. Oh, he's just upset about Bo. He's just upset. He's so saddened by Bo. Burdens of living up to his famous family name. The struggle is so real. It's so real. It's so difficult. At several points, she described wanting to help him with various attempts at sobriety. Even as she observed him repeatedly smoking crack, chipping off small crystals from an enormous rock of crack she said that was the size of a ping pong ball. But it was not all abject misery. After testimony was delivered in an upbeat, optimistic tone. In a bit of prosecutorial stage managing, the special counsel investigating the president's son summoned Ms. Kasten minutes after a brief, somber testimony from Mr. Biden's former wife, Kathleen Boulay. She testified about the excruciating ordeal of discovering his crack addiction and her efforts to shield the couple's 3 daughters from his behavior because the guy is a walking humiliation. Then Ms. Kasten arrived. After the riveted courtroom listened, Ms. Kasten provided a nearly cinematic rendering of their drug-fueled partying during Fashion Week in Manhattan in 2018. Her testimony, like that of Mr. Biden's other romantic partners, is intended to establish that he's a chronic drug abuser who lied when he claimed to be clean on the application for a gun in October 2018. She said he withdrew enormous quantities of cash from a Wells Fargo ATM in Midtown Manhattan during that week in February 2018, dispatching her to take out the money by reading her a code sent to his phone. Oh, we don't talk about how he gave the codes to his drug dealers? No, you don't mention that? He used cash for a lot of things. A good amount of it was for drugs, Ms. Kasten said. But he also gave her $800 for another purpose, to buy clothes because he's so generous. To buy clothes for his kids from a high-end retailer. That's why. This is what the New York Times wants you to know. He's buying clothing for his children because he's just a loving family man who's addled by drugs because he's so distraught over the family tragedy. That's all it is. This is a story about a man who loves his child. That's what the Bidens are. They're just a tragic story. God, such fake news. Such fake news. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So yeah, that seemed like fun. That was fun. I think that pretty much covers it. Hulk's secret, always angry, Hunter's always high. Maybe. Anyway, I think we're going to have a short show tonight. I think it's going to be a short show. Short show is good. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to wrap this up here. We started late. I just didn't want to skip tonight. I'm going to end up missing 2 nights next week because of Jewish holiday. There is a Jewish holiday next week. I'm going to miss 2 nights next week. So I sort of felt like, I don't really want to miss a night this week. So, but I think this was better than last night. You have to just, if you give a thumbs up and a like, if you think this was better than last night was okay. You know, compared to most people, it's just by my standards, it just wasn't. But if you can just, do one of those, I'd be most obliged. You know, I just want you to know something. When I just said that, it was great by most standards, but my standards, it was only okay. In her sleep, Lady Lawgic just smiled. She literally just like chuckled. She's laying there in bed, and she literally chuckled in her sleep. And now she heard me reference her. She heard me reference her. She was like totally. All right. It was very rhythmic breathing that was happening like less than 3 minutes ago. It was pretty rhythmic. It was pretty good rhythm. The breathing had really good rhythm. Really good rhythm. And then like all of a sudden, like, I made a comment how my subpar shows are better than most people's. And she chuckled. So there you go. There you go. I don't know. Anyway, I think that is my show for tonight. That is my show for tonight. I thank you all for joining me. I will be back here. Tomorrow, I'm going to be on Locals. We're doing a local show tomorrow. I'm going to go through Barnes' email. Because he breaks down the law. That's going to be like tomorrow afternoon. He breaks down the law and how it relates to his whole constitutional perspective, which I referenced this yesterday. And I knew I wouldn't have an opportunity to do today, but I do plan on doing that tomorrow. So I'm going to have a local show. It's probably going to be a little bit one of the longer ones because he gives me a lot of law. He gives me a lot of law to try and justify his position that he's in a dispute with the rest of LawTube over. So I'm going to share with you what he shares with me. And that's going to be tomorrow on Locals at goodlogic.locals.com. Goodlogic.locals.com. I'm at 98.2. My goal is 98.4 tonight. 98.4. And I will tell you this, if I get to 99,000, before I get to show number 1,000, then show number 1,000 will be a 12-hour stream. There you go. If I get to 99,000, then I'm going to bank that in 12 hours I can pull up 1,000 people. That's what it's going to be. Show number 1,000. I'm going to set up a running counter also, so this way people can see ding ding ding, and hopefully it'll be ding ding ding. So I'll try to figure out how to, because I don't even know how to do that right now. I do not know how to do that, but there is a way to do that. I've seen other folks have it, so I'll try to set that up, running a counter that's running. Now, if YouTube has a way, it'll probably be running backwards. It'll be like, sort of like some sort of space-time continuum thing. But yeah, but that would be like within the next few days, because I'm going to hit that 1,000th upload. Like, this is number 995. So if in the next 4 episodes I can manage to crack 99,000, then episode number 1,000 is going to be a 12-hour stream. All right. I thank you all for joining me. I will be back on Locals tomorrow afternoon, and then back here, God willing, tomorrow evening. Until then, I thank you. Do not eat the bugs. Have a good night, my friends. And as always, oh, wait, let me double check Rumble, because if I miss a thing from Rumble tonight, my God, I'll never forget. Phew. I did miss some Locals. Thanks, Joe. You're welcome, Nero Divergent. You're very welcome. Good night, you all. Take care, and as always, Godspeed.